Hey, yo.
Back hero.
Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gon' dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Sentakyu. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my sword play when blades clash.
Hilarious. Episode 155.
Yeah,
we back. So I'm enjoying these about me things we've been doing. Last week we did movies. Before that we did video games. Now we got an anime joint coming today, and we are nearing the final four. Actually, we're in the championship.
We're in the championship.
We're
round.
recapping the final four.
Yeah, we had the final four yesterday.
Man. So shout out to this tournament. It's been fun. We have already started to. We'll recap the final four at the end of this episode. We've already begun the process of working on a rough bracket for the video game character one. So
long story short is that we didn't use any of your ideas. We told you all. We told all of you all to fuck off, and we just did it anyway. We did it ourselves. I think we did a pretty good job, though. We'll post the brackets,
maybe
and
the seeds.
Yeah, we'll post the seeds, and then we'll see if there's any like glaring omissions.
Yeah,
if there's anybody that we just tripped and fell and completely forgot.
Yeah, because like we said before, we're trying to keep it adventure games. Trying to keep it human characters,
humanish.
So that's what we're trying to keep it at that. So we'll see. But episode 155, man, what are you into currently, my friend?
Yeah, man, I've been playing this Jedi game.
How was that? I have not played it yet.
Jedi Survivor. It's super fun. It's got a little bit of Soulsborne to it, but it's a lot easier in my opinion. It's not quite as bullshit. Really, just because you don't lose stamina when you dodge.
Did you just cough? Ooh,
right. I mean, yep, that'll be all of your stamina, please. Did you just did you take a single step? Stamina gone.
Ooh, it's gonna cost you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I've been. It's not nearly as difficult, but the combat it's like the right kind of challenging. Like if you don't. Although, so the timing windows for parries are actually quite generous, but the problem is that like when I first played it, I was playing this game right after I played Ghost, or either right before or right after I played Ghost. So I was thinking like the parry window should be tighter, right? Like I should have to parry right as I get hit, because that's how it was in Ghost. That's how it is in like Sekiro and all those games. But in Star Wars, and so when I first played Fallen Order, I was not having fun that much because I was like trying to time it perfectly, and I would always get hit. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like it's not like I'm trash at this. I just got done finishing Ghost on the hardest difficulty. Like it was fine.
Right.
The difference is that the timing window is just very different for Jedi Fallen Order it's way earlier. Like you have to. It's actually kind of more realistic a little bit. You have to actually parry the attack before it comes, as opposed to right when it comes. And once I figured that out, I was like, oh, this game is actually way easier than I thought. I had a lot more fun with it. So I feel like I'm much better at the combat now on this game. So the game is dope. Like I'm getting into the plot a little bit. And like I'm only like an hour or two in, and like the first like big reveal has happened, and I wasn't expecting it. It's an interesting direction that they're going in. But the only problem that I have, and this is for the the tech sweaties, bro, the game, it looks trash.
Oh,
it's very poorly optimized.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, like, so I know you don't have a PS5 yet, do you? But don't y'all got Xbox X or something?
Yeah, my son's got the
new Xbox.
Newest Xbox.
So, and his TV that he plays it on, does he play it on like high frame rate, like 60 frames or 120? You don't know.
You talking
Sorry,
to
my bad.
Hey, well, actually,
you are talking to the
okay.
let
me translate it into Noveliss. When you look at it is it like fluid or is it kind of choppy?
Oh no, he's got a good TV.
Okay, so he's probably playing it on like high frame rates, performance mode. That's the way I prefer to play now, because I've become sort of like you know how Chris is like super tech nerdy.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of like that now, and so I got the TV for it, and I've got the PS5 to play it and up to 120 frames. The problem is that this game is so trash. It's so poorly optimized that like the performance mode, which is supposed to.
So you're better off playing it in the.
Kinda like the performance mode is supposed to optimize the frame rate and kind of lower the visual quality just a little bit. Yeah. But I typically like to play it that way. I like the frame rates over the visual quality, in my opinion, like personally.
Because the game's just more fluid.
It just looks way fucking better. And also what hurts is I just got done playing Horizon DLC, and man,
which looks incredible,
bro. It might have top 1 or 2, 3 best graphics ever.
Yeah,
right? Like it's incredible. But just compared to that, seeing the performance mode barely hit 30 frames per second, I was just like, dog, this shit. For a second, I found a way to kind of turn a screw and like fucking turn the bitch upside down and shake it and then like put it in the freezer for 5 minutes, right? I figured out a little workaround to make it look better, but if I hadn't figured that out, I was seriously considering, should I like stop playing this shit until they patch it? Because the game is so good that I don't want to like fuck it up. Like I don't want to have a bad experience with a good game. But I got it to a point where I'm still having fun with it. So other than that, it's a good game. Like I'm enjoying it quite a bit. And I would say it's like, if you like God of War, it's got a lot of, I'm not the biggest fan of like puzzles in order to like traverse, where you got to fucking grab, like force pull a orb and it like, you put it like here and then it
Zelda temple type.
Yeah, exactly. So like huge portions of the game are just like that.
Yeah.
And I don't love that, but the combat, once you get to fighting some stormtroopers and like shock troopers and all that, it's pretty fun. So I would recommend it. I'm not sure. I think it's gonna be better than the first game. And I gave the first game like an 8 out of 10, 7.7 out of 10 maybe. This feels like an 8. Right. This feels like an 8.5 going towards a 9, maybe a firm 9 if it hadn't been for the tech issues in the beginning. But overall, I'm enjoying it. It's a good game.
I want to play it, and I'm sure I will. I told you before, like with the Star Wars games, I'm just to that point now where, I want to be able to create my own character.
Yeah.
I think it's time for them to
for sure
go in that direction.
I will say though, the main character has had quite a glow up. He looks like a badass now.
Okay.
Like the first game, he was
super generic. Man.
He was kind of funny looking ginger.
Hey, I'm Kyle.
Hey,
it's gonna be.
His name is literally Cal. Hey, I'm Cal. Cal Kestis. Nice to meet you, bud. Just gonna go on a little Star Wars adventure here.
My clothes are kind of regular, but it's just because I.
No, he looks. I mean, he's still kind of a funny looking actor, but he's definitely looks like a badass now, which is dope.
Yeah.
It's 5 years later. He's grown up a little bit.
Want to make a Black Jedi on Star Wars? That would be fun,
bro. Nah, fuck that, bro. I want y'all to.
I don't want to have to do it.
I don't want to have to do it because we know you ain't finna do it. I want y'all niggas to make a Black Jedi. and make him. And I dare you to make him the first character.
Center of the story.
Right.
Around.
I dare you to make him the main character. They're not finna do that.
They're not gonna do that.
Although,
can you imagine the outrage if Star Wars had a game?
right.
That was
well, actually,
Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty,
Yeah.
and you get like pump faked at the beginning of the game, and the white
It
character,
just brutally murdered.
and then the playable characters of Black Jedi.
Yep.
Oh goodness, people!
And then he turns and looked at the camera and be like, "Yeah,
Man,
got your dumb ass. Now you finna get your money back or no? Or are you gonna play this shit?"
bro. The reviews would be insane. You know, it's just something. The graphics, just
Yeah.
story just didn't hit for me.
After that first reveal, I just game kind of lost me. Huh. Wonder why that is. Although I have hope, man. Like Ahsoka, even though she's an alien, it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
But Rosario Dawson's black. But man, the Acolyte dog,
Yeah, I
Amanda
got
Steinberg,
I got hope for that.
and they describe it as a like martial arts flick.
Yeah,
kinda.
like
Where they're doing so Amanda Steinberg said that when she got her script and everything, the first thing that they did was teach her Wing Chun. Like that was the
That's
first thing.
fire.
So like say less, I'm in.
Love it. Yeah, I'm in too.
Force
I don't need
martial arts.
I don't need any more detail, like how Vader was doing.
Bruh, oh my god, dog. That nigga was doing on the jong with the
That
Force,
was one
dog.
of the best
So dope.
scenes. That
Hell
was
yeah.
insane, man. That Obi-Wan had some amazing stuff in it.
Agreed.
But yeah, man. So quick wrestling recap, man. So WWE, they're doing the draft again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already disappointed
Oh, what happened?
because Roman Reigns is going to SmackDown and Cody is going to Raw. So that means they're gonna give him the new belt.
Yep.
You already know that's what that means. That's just disappointing. A little disappointed.
They were, they was gonna give him the belt, bro. You know they were.
Yeah.
And he gonna have a long ass reign, so just be prepared for
It's
that.
just like, so now it's like I wanted Seth to get that belt. I wanted Seth Rollins to get it. But now that Cody is on Raw, I almost want Seth to go to SmackDown so he can beat Roman Reigns
for the big belt.
Yeah, I want him to dethrone Roman because we had this conversation last week, man. If Roman Reigns doesn't lose his belt at SummerSlam, he's holding it until WrestleMania, guaranteed. So barring injury or something like that. So we'll see, man. But that's really it going on with WWE. New Japan's got a pay-per-view this weekend. And AEW, AEW's been kind of, it hasn't been bad, but they just been kind of, I feel like the last couple of weeks, they just been kind of, they're setting some stuff up. But I think these have been like some lower tier episodes of like Dynamite and Rampage for sure.
Yeah.
And they're setting some stuff up. It was really dope to see Kenny wear the IWGP United States title to the ring. That was fire because he usually doesn't have it. I love the stuff they got going on with him and oh man, not this week. I think next week on Dynamite, not this one, but the next one, bro. Kenny versus Moxley in a cage match. So.
Yeah. That's gonna be in Detroit, bro.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh my god! And they just randomly promoted it too,
bro. I tried. So I'm in a weird
insane.
point now where like I reached out to Rashawn to try to reach out to Jungle Boy, and the first time like he like
didn't no problem. Oh, but now you're like,
so no. I reached out again for this, but I did it like 2 months ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna see what's up," and then I like nothing, and now it's like I kind of waited too long,
to
follow up, and now it's just kind of like fuck.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm a piece of shit. If I keep bugging this nigga for it, like, hey, you remember
bud.
You remember Jack, like your cousin that's kind of halfway my cousin too. Can we get some free ass tickets, please, or nah?
Oh man, but I don't think they mind. Because it's nothing for them to, what I'm saying. But
I'm gonna ask because I think it's like, is it like like Wednesday?
No, it's not this Wednesday. It's the next Wednesday.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna hit Rashawn up one more time and be like, hey, bro, let me can I just see if you can.
That should be dope. Orange Cassidy versus Bandito was fire.
Man, that was an amazing.
It was a good match.
Yeah.
That's my match of the week. Is to be Orange Cassidy versus Bandito.
Bro, Orange Cassidy is a
superstar. He is having an insane title.
He gonna fuck around and be on the PWI top 100.
Yeah, he's having a really good,
like top 20.
He'll probably be top. Nah, the way that they do it, the calendar, the wrestling calendar year is really weird. I want to say that it like ends at SummerSlam. So like he's had, but that's good for him because he's had like this incredible run with this belt, and he's like defending it. I think, bro, I saw his record. He's like 20-0 or something this year.
You think he got a shot at the top 10?
He'll be top 10 for sure.
Really?
I think
wow.
so. And he has like good TV matches too.
I love that.
I think he'll be top 10 100%. So let's stick a bookmark in that. I'm betting that Orange Cassidy will be PWI top 10 this year.
2022.
Yeah, 2023.
2023.
Yeah.
Oh, so so it'll come out like at the end of this year.
It'll come out, yeah. You know what I mean? The wrestling calendar year, like I said, it's weird.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be in the top 10 if they have the thing right. But real quick, so wrestling question for you: who's a wrestler that you think is just like super talented, and you really like them, but they have just been held back by the way that they're booked or their character or whatever? And how would you change it?
The first one that comes to mind is Mustafa Ali.
Oh man,
how would I change it? Get him out of fucking WWE. Like, he's got no shot there, bro. Like, there's too many. I mean, I would say like, and this is saying a lot coming from me, bro. Like, one of the worst things to be, one of the worst like identities to have in America that might even be worse than being a black man is being a Muslim brown person.
Yeah.
In this like post 9/11 era,
right?
And he ain't gonna never be able to shake that, bro.
Yeah, and it's super whack because when he wanted to get out of his contract, they wouldn't let him, which is just that's so messed up.
Yeah.
And he's like stuck there now, and it's just like, you know, I think it's too late for him to go to AEW just because AEW has so many people now.
Agreed.
But if he could have got there right when that jump was starting to happen, I think he would have been great
for sure.
But yeah, I would love to see him go to New Japan though. I think he would be awesome there, and he would be a good fit.
The only other person that I was thinking of is, even though the ship kind of got righted a little bit, was Ember Moon / Athena.
Yeah,
like she should have been.
She should have been
champ.
A huge star. Yeah,
like champ.
I agree. So for me, I would say Ricochet, man. I think he is just one of the most incredible, just athletic wrestlers of all time. I think I've always thought his problem is his personality, man. And
he's square.
And you know what he reminds me of though? And this is why I always say that they just have not booked him right. He reminds me of Kurt Angle. When Kurt Angle first, just that like that chipper, like white bread, goody two shoes, like
I'm gonna drink a big glass of milk.
Yeah.
Eat your vegetables, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that whole thing is like it's a heel thing. It's not a babyface thing, right? Mm-hmm. And like when you do that at first you think you're being a babyface, but like nah, like people hate that.
Yeah.
People don't. And then the fact that the thing with Kurt Angle was he was that, but he was so good. And he would like look down on other people while, you know, being all chipper, and like people hate that. That's a heel thing.
You know, that was Sammy Guevara's original character.
Yeah,
it was like being the fake nice guy.
Yeah, and like people and like just like condescending and like that would be amazing for Ricochet, and they have never done that with him, and I don't understand why. Like if he was just like this super chipper, like conceited, like, you know what I'm saying, thinks he's better than everyone else, and that would be great for him. And they've never done it. They've always just tried and it's like the crowd rejects that. They don't like that behavior. And you know, and the worst thing about it is you won't even get booed. You'll just get silence, which is worse.
Yeah.
Because, you know, getting booed means you're getting a reaction and you're over still. But like when they're not doing anything, that means they don't care. And that's what that personality does. If you're not gonna heal it up,
bro, listen to this nigga. I was trying to put the microphone down here. Loudly snoring.
Wake up, Cloud.
Must be nice, bud.
real quick. Sports check-in. Hey, let's all bow our heads for a moment, and let's all bow our heads for a moment and appreciate our savior and greatest point guard of all time, Steph Curry.
He's pretty good.
Hey, man. I mean, you know,
pretty good.
I had so many people. Anybody who sends me a text or tries to call me and we don't normally talk when the Warriors were down 0-2, don't ever text me again.
Right.
First of all, Steph Curry, man, this guy, 50 points, most points ever scored in a Game 7. That's not just it, though. Like, you guys know me, been a Warriors fan forever. I've seen every Steph Curry game of his whole career. He's had some amazing performances. I think all things considered, 35 years old, Game 7, on the road, tough place to play, lower seed, no help.
Yeah.
They didn't play good.
No.
He literally put his team on his back, and he was not going to lose this game.
The only two players that played well for them were him and Kevon Looney.
That
was it.
It's just, it was amazing to watch, and I think that was probably his best performance.
I agree.
Ever.
And the thing was, he didn't even, for his legacy, he didn't even need that game, but he was just like,
absolutely not, and that's like,
gave it to him anyways.
And what do I tell you guys all the time? I'm good if the Warriors don't win another game. These dudes won 4 championships. My favorite player of all time has submitted himself as one of the greatest players ever.
For sure. He's easily, like, he's firmly in the top 10 all time, maybe higher.
Don't ask me, because I'll give you a different answer.
But I would just say, like, universally among basketball fans,
but there's still people who want to
10.
include him because whatever reason.
In the top 10?
There's bro. I post. I'll talk to people all the time, and they'll be like, "What? No." I'm like, "What are you talking about? He's literally done everything you could possibly do and more."
At least the top 10.
It's unbelievable how people feel about him. I don't get it. Whatever. He's like, I still see people say that Magic Johnson is the best point guard of all time. You guys gotta stop. Anyway, don't get me started, because I'll talk forever about stuff. But he's just incredible, man. Best point guard of all time. And like I said, the team didn't play good. It was one of the best performances I've ever seen. And then on top of that, we've been kind of talking about this off air, like through the course of this series. Bro, Jordan Poole is driving me nuts. And you guys know how I feel about Jordan Poole. That's my guy. I love him. I am pro the bad shots. Like, I love him. That's my guy. I've been supporting him since he was on since they drafted him. Remember? I was like, dude, he needs to be on the roster and not playing in the G League. This guy has been horrible this whole series.
The whole playoffs, yeah.
I don't understand. Like, he just takes bad shots. He turns the ball over all the time. He don't play defense. Like, I told you, like, he was borderline unplayable.
I think I wonder if it has something to do with him not being able to play well if Clay is also playing well. Because Clay has been good this season. He's been really good this season.
Yeah, he wasn't good last night, but he still hit that 4-point. He had that 4-point play at the end of the third quarter.
When that happened, I texted you and I was like, bro, that's it. That's the game. Like, that's a backbreaker, and there's no way they can come back from that.
Facts.
And then they went up 20 immediately.
Yeah, that was nuts. But Kevon Looney, favorite role player ever. I love that guy. He's just a guy who just does his role, doesn't try to do too much. He's a good passing big man. I really love Loon. But Steph Curry, man, that's my guy. I can't really say any more than that. He's just amazing. And then on to football. We had the draft. Just real quick, loved what the Vikings did in the draft, man. They killed it. I'm satisfied with what they got. Jordan Addison was my literally number one. I thought he was the best receiver in the draft. I know some of the scouts that don't know anything and the mock drafters that don't know anything, and they've showed you that for the last 100 years. I think he's the best receiver. I value technical route running, quick change of direction, in and out of, you know what I'm saying? I value that stuff over like the physical things, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about their 40 time. Can you get separation, and are you a technical route runner that can beat one-on-one covers? That's all I care about. And those are the kinds of receivers I like, and that's what he is. So I'm happy about that. What about you, man? What's going on in your sports life?
The Pistons are getting the 5th pick. So just stop. Don't even Pistons fan. I'm sorry. Like, don't even Don't even worry about it. Like, we are getting the 5th pick, period. Like, it is what it is. Look, bro, like, I was wrong, man. Like, I used to say, I think we need to be if we're gonna tank, like, let's get the worst record so we can optimize our odds. I was wrong, bro. Here's why. Because I like the idea of being able to not fall past 5 because the Pistons are notorious for dropping low in the lottery. But if you look at the numbers, picks 1, 2, 3, or the people in the bottom 3 have equal odds at picks 1, 2, 3, and 4. No matter which position you are, you have the same amount of odds to get any of those 4 picks. The problem is that if you're bottom 2 or bottom 3, you have the opportunity to drop to 6 if you're 2 and to drop to 7 if you're 3. Mm-hmm. So if it's the same amount of the percentage rate is the same for the top 4 picks for each of those positions, it's a total of like 52%. So you have a 52% chance of landing in the top 4. So if you pick if you have the third best odds, that means that you have a 52% chance of getting in the top 4, and the rest of that 47.5% is divided between picks 5, 6, and 7. If you're in the second worst odds, the remainder of that 48% is divided between picks 5 and 6. Now you see where I'm going with this. If you're the 5th overall, if you're the worst overall odds, you got that same 52% to get the top 4, but your entire other 50% is to fall to 5. Like, the only other way you can distribute the odds, since you can only drop one more spot, is it's like incredibly lopsided, heavily skewed that you'll drop to 5. So like the chances at 1 are like 14%, the chances at 2 are 13%, chances at 3 are like 12%, chances at 4 are 11%, chances at 5 47.5%. We're getting the 5th pick, period. Like, and it's actually it underlines that that's like not fair. Like, it over punishes the worst the worst person. Like, if you go on if you go on Tankathon and you do that fucking mock lotto, the Pistons drop the 5 like 10 times out of 10, dog.
That's so annoying.
So we're not getting Victor. We're not getting Scoot. Sterling. I call him Sterling because that's a much better name. We're not getting Brandon Miller. We're not gonna get Amen Thompson, who I used to like Asar better.
Dog.
No. Fuck off, bro. Like, no, I'm not gonna have faith, bro. Why? So them niggas could be like, with the 5th pick. So, hey, bro, the Pistons are gonna somehow drop to 6, even though it's impossible. Them niggas still gonna drop to 6.
They're not gonna drop to 6.
They won't, but they will drop to 5. Like, that's pretty much a guarantee. It's literally 50-50. Either they win the lottery or they drop to 5. Like, no thing in between.
No.
So I got I'm just, I'm expecting that we're gonna pick 5, and I'm okay with that. There's still guys that can help us. I'd love to get Amin Thompson if he drops somehow. I would love it if somebody in the top 4 falls in love with Jarris Walker, because he's one of those like defensive, kind of Swiss Army knife, can guard 4 positions type guys that also can't play offense. That the NBA front offices fall in love with for some reason. I don't understand how NBA front offices, or like how draft people, don't recognize that getting buckets translates.
Bruh, that's one of the skills that does translate.
You got to be able to put the fucking ball in the bucket, bro. Like, you got to be able to fill that bitch up. And I don't care how good a defender you are, I'm not taking a top 5 pick on a guy who can't project to be even an average offensive player. Like,
I want the Warriors to draft Amani Bates. Okay.
Nah, because we got the 31st overall pick, and that nigga's coming.
You think that's where he's going?
I think he's gonna fall to like the middle of the second round. Yeah. But if I was the Pistons,
bro, you never know, man. Like, he could have like some insane workouts.
Man, I would absolutely.
I always say about Amani, man. This dude, he's got a thin frame, but this guy is what, 6'8", 6'9",
handle, bucket,
and scores at a very professional, like, easy, like tough shots look real easy to him.
Good player.
At the very least, he's like and I'm meaning like very least, he's like a and he like I love Cam Johnson, but like Imani Bates handles the ball better than him. Like,
True.
but I'm saying at his in my opinion, his floor is like a Cam Johnson. You know what I'm saying?
I think maybe a better offensive but worse defensive Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
So the guy that I want at 5 is Cam Whitmore. I like Cam Whitmore a lot. He's like Sadiq Bey, but way more athletic and more offensive bag. I would love it if we got him. I would love it if we took a flyer on Asar Thompson because he's got like crazy. He's got some bucket getting ability. He's a great defender. Just anybody but Walker. Like he's just not the guy. Whether it's one of the Thompson twins, maybe Taylor Hendricks, he's a good pick too, or Cam Whitmore. So whatever. If we win the lottery, great. But I'm not gonna set myself up for that, bro. We're getting
Don't
5.
be sad. All right, man. Yeah, I feel you on that.
And I also like the Lions draft. I know people keep talking about positional value. I don't know enough about football to care about that shit. But they got 2 guys that are going to start immediately who make them better. Who cares? And the thing that I keep hearing is, like, people are putting the hypothetical in front of fans. If they had gone, like, Branch in the first round.
I don't like that because they didn't.
But also, like, who
what's the
cares?
point?
If you got Branch in the first round, or like Branch and
But they got him in the second round.
Right. You got Branch and Hooker or whoever in the first, and then you got your other 2 guys in the second and third rounds. Would you be happy? Everybody says yes. So, like, we got those guys.
Yeah.
What difference does it make?
So what does it matter?
Like, y'all keep listening to Mel Kiper don't know what the fuck he talking about. Like, none of these niggas know.
We talked about that off the air. First of all, none of these mock draft guys, they don't know anything. And
Nobody knows
they're
shit.
wrong every year, and they prove it to you every year. And we have, like, unlimited evidence of this. These people have no idea who's going to pick who, where they're going to go. They don't know.
They're not good.
But
Bad.
on top of that, though, yeah, I agree. Like, because what they don't understand is, like, because the Vikings traded out of the third round when a lot of people thought they would trade into the second. But what they do is, it's a gamble. But what these GMs do is they have their guys. They have their board. Trust me, they have done extensive work on every player. They've had players visit. They've had meetings with them. They go to their combine. They go to their pro days. They know everything about these guys. Every team has their own board that doesn't look like everybody else's. They have players that they love that are their guys. And what they do is, if they see their player that they want, their mind's made up. They don't care how the board falls. They don't care who's there that was ranked ahead of them. They don't care because that's not one of their guys. If they see their guy and they think, and they look at the board, they look how the board's going. They look who's picking before them. They look who's picking after them. If they think that they can move back and still get the player that they like, but also get more picks in the draft, they're gonna do it, and they do it. And yes, they're scared when they're watching because they're like, okay, no, we're good. Like, I know you saw the video of the Lions GM like getting hyped when they got, and it's like I've seen people like, oh, they should have got Bijan Robinson. Like, why didn't they just draft him? He's a running back too. And it's like, because that's not the guy that was on their board. This is the guy that was on their board. So now they get to do that, and then they see so they see that Brian Branch didn't go earlier, and that was probably a guy they had really high too. So now they're like, we're gonna be able to get him in the second round because none of these other teams need a DB. They're not gonna draft him. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that goes into it. Ew, that was a lot of sports.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry. Apologies.
Sorry, guys. All right, moving on. All right, man. So I want to talk to you about something real quick. So me and my homie Nick, I'm skipping around this thing a little bit, man. So you might as well not even look at it. But shout out to my homie Nick, man. Me and him, I tell you guys, follow me on Letterboxd, man. That's the only form of social media that I don't absolutely hate. And me and Nick are doing like a film challenge with each other. Like, I'll give him we're trading movies, and we get 7 days to watch the movie. So the movie I gave him was Twilight Samurai, one of my favorite movies with Hiroyuki Sanada in it. Amazing. And the movie he gave me was this movie called Sunshine. And it's a good movie, man. It's a sci-fi movie. The cast is insane.
Huh.
I think you should check it out. But it was good. So I am kind of finding that I love sci-fi as a genre.
You don't say.
But I didn't, I don't know if I knew that always. So I wanted you to just kind of break down the sci-fi genre, because I think there's a difference. Like there's so many subgenres. Like there's like Star Wars, right? But that's not like sweaty sci-fi. That's like what, like sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
More fantasy than it is sci-fi.
yeah. So like, how would you, I guess, break it down? Because I know sci-fi is your thing.
Yep.
And then like, what is your favorite type of sci-fi movie or?
Yeah. So science fiction is a huge umbrella. There are some people who debate whether or not fantasy and sci-fi they definitely have a ton of overlap, but there's some people who think that either that fantasy is the umbrella that science fiction comes under, or that science fiction is the umbrella that fantasy is under. I don't think either are true. I think they're both separate. And then there's a huge like part of the Venn diagram in the middle where they both cross over. Star Wars is the best example. Low key, Star Trek, another good example. Star Trek is still more fantasy sci-fi than it is anything else. It's a little harder sci-fi than Star Wars is, but it's still a lot of fantasy in it.
So this movie I watched, right? Sunshine. So this movie is about the sun. The sun is it's not heating the planet like it's supposed to. I don't remember exactly what it is, and I'm mad I can't remember. But there's something that's stopping the sun from warming the planet like it's supposed to. So they they have a plan to send a team into space, leave it to America to solve a planetary crisis with a bomb, but they have to like recharge the sun with a bomb basically. So they're gonna put the bomb in the sun.
Oh,
blow
nuclear
it up.
reaction. They want to jumpstart.
Yeah,
okay.
jumpstart it.
I can already tell that's hard sci-fi.
Okay, that's exactly what I was gonna ask you.
Okay, so let's break it down.
It gets a little. So the movie gets a little wonky because they end up finding another spacecraft that was sent out before their team, and then they find. I don't want to spoil it because I think you should watch this.
Okay,
movie.
I'll watch it. So here, let me go from here.
Okay.
So fantasy or sci-fi, huge umbrella. There's a ton of different like sort of tendrils that come up from underneath it. Same with fantasy. You can do a whole other thing about fantasy, which I'm learning about now too. So like there's like sci-fi horror. Alien, the first Alien movie, great example of that. There's like action sci-fi, which is what I would consider the MCU to be, right? Where it's science fiction, but it's more like a spectacle action movie than anything else. I would say that like Armageddon would be under that genre as well. The second Alien movie, Aliens, would definitely be under that.
More action. What about like Predator? Would you consider
Predator?
that?
I would say that's another action.
Sci-fi.
Action. It's the first Predator I would say is closer to horror. No, it was Arnold. Never mind. It was action. It was like for sure. Then you have like hard sci-fi, and you ask what my favorite is.
So it's like, if it's involving like I guess I'm
about to break it down.
Yeah, like what makes it because Predator, right? Seems like it's just action, but is it because it's a creature from another?
Because it's a sci. It is more action than anything else.
Yeah,
and so is the MCU too. But like what makes it sci-fi is the fact that there's a science fiction villain or some element of science fiction where the main bad guy is a literal alien. Like automatically that's science fiction.
Right. Okay.
So you asked me what my favorite is. My favorite two, I can't really, depending on my mood, is either fantasy sci-fi or hard sci-fi. And I'll talk about hard sci-fi in a minute. But fantasy sci-fi is probably the most like between fantasy and action are the two most popular. You got the MCU, you got Aliens, you got Predator, you got all that. And then you got, for fantasy sci-fi, you got Star Trek, Star Wars, Dune. Dune is like the grandfather to all of that shit.
So I really loved the first Dune movie, but it wasn't. And remember we talked about this. So now that I'm waiting for the second, because I think the second one's going to be in like one of my favorite movies.
For sure. They say it's like super action heavy.
I'm excited.
Dune is for sure fantasy sci-fi, bro. Like it's like the grandfather to Star Wars. Like it gave, you could tell that George Lucas was very heavily inspired by Dune. There's some other stuff like Foundations. Some of the other Asimov stuff is all like fantasy sci-fi. So, and now I'm going to define, in my opinion, I think I feel pretty confident about this, the difference between fantasy sci-fi and hard sci-fi. I already kind of defined action where like where there's like where the value is like the fight scenes or the action scenes is like what you get from it. Star Wars has a little bit of that too, but like in the MCU, like you come for the fights, you come for the action scenes, right? You don't come for the action scenes in Star Trek necessarily. Sometimes you do, but that's not really what it's about.
It's a small part of it, but
yeah. So fantasy sci-fi versus hard sci-fi. Fantasy sci-fi is when the science element, they just kind of wave a magic wand. They just kind of yada yada past it, right? Like the Force, like whatever, kind of some stuff. Like the hyperdrive in Star Wars, like they don't fucking really explain that shit,
right? They just do it.
You just need it for the plot, and who cares? Like we got fucking space cowboys and bounty hunters and space samurai. Like who cares? Fuck the rest of the shit. Like who cares?
Facts.
Star Trek is a little bit more hard sci-fi, but it's still fantasy because they take a lot of liberties with making the science make sense. Like you can kind of explain how warp drive works. You can kind of explain how like you need whatever, right? Like you can it's based in general science. But in hard sci-fi, it's like this shit is based in realistic science, right? Like I told you about the 3-body problem. Like that was based on that's super hard sci-fi. Like here are these mathematical equations or these like scientific theories that we have. What kind of story can we tell based in this world? Or you can even extrapolate it out into the future a little bit. Like a really good example of hard sci-fi, in my opinion, is The Expanse. I think you would really fuck with that.
I've never seen that.
It's on Prime.
Is it a show or a movie?
It's a show. Once you get your sci-fi sea legs a little bit, I would graduate into the Expanse maybe a little later. Because it doesn't take any liberties, bro. Like so it's like 100 years in the future, but these niggas ain't like out in multiple galaxies. Like they are in the local universe, the local solar system. They've gotten out as far as like Jupiter or like whatever. And they like, you can't go that fast. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know how to explain that shit with science. Right. Like there's one episode, man, it's crazy. There's one episode where like you find out about the proto molecule, which is the whole thing that's the MacGuffin that makes the story work. It's like this like molecule that doesn't like make sense within the laws of physics. This is a slight spoiler, but you know it immediately that it's like a piece of alien technology. But like they don't try to like explain it. Like it's realistic in that if you saw some alien technology from our perspective, you wouldn't have no fucking idea like what anything is. And one of the things that they learned that it does is that it like stops it like makes momentum stop working, which already is like a super heady sci-fi idea. So like there's one episode where, I mean, it's pretty brutal, but there's one episode where they learn about this momentum stopping principle where this guy in a spaceship tries to go through the anomaly and momentum like stops working. So he came to an abrupt stop, but it wasn't like slow down. Like that nigga was moving and then he
stopped.
Instantly, the transfer of momentum was instantaneous. So like you would
like explode.
So like they showed like a head-on shot of him, and all of a sudden his head just like his whole body just like exploded forward.
Oh my gosh!
And we were all like, "Bro, what the fuck just happened?" And then they show like the side angle, and you see like this is gross, but like all of his like body was like going forward, so it like demonstrated that like if you were going like 5,000 miles per hour and then immediately stopped, your whole body would just like tear forward.
Oh my god!
So like it's just that kind of like hardcore. Like no, we not fucking around with the rules of science, bro. If this shit happened, you will die. Period. Like that's it. So yeah, man. There's like entire worlds of each of these genres. The fantasy sci-fi is the easiest to get into because you don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about like knowing about science or anything like that.
Right.
But if you want to get a little sweaty, man, that hard sci-fi, bro, like fucking 3-body problem. I was listening to the audiobook and there was a couple of times where I had to pause and rewind like 15 times in a row. Like, bro, what the fuck did he just say? Like, huh? I'm a so-called smart person, bro. Like I be understanding most of the shit that I hear. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now. It's going right over my head. It's good though.
Hilarious.
More sci-fi.
Boom. Watch that movie, Sunshine.
Yeah, I'm into it. Let me.
Cast is ridiculous. I want you to just look the cast up right now. And I just wanted to see your reaction when you see who's in this movie.
Okay, so we got. Oh wow, got Cillian Murphy, however you say his name, Cillian Murphy. Got Michelle Yeoh off top. We got Chris Evans, a young Chris Evans. You got Benedict Wong. You got of course, Hiroki Sanada. These are all of our guys.
Cast is insane.
You got Chippo. You remember Chippo Chung from Warrior?
Yes.
Or not Warrior.
No.
Into the Badlands.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, it's a good movie, man. You should watch it. I think it kind of teeters on the lines of like just like sweaty sci-fi, and also I don't. If I tell you anything else, I'll spoil it. Okay. So just watch it.
Mark Strong. Yeah, no, we're in here. I'm gonna check it out.
Shout out to the homie Josh, man. I have finally finished all the Lone Wolf and Cub movies. I have been kind of talking about them a little bit on here, but I have to say, man, this is definitely, if Zatoichi is my favorite film series, this is undoubtedly number 2. Loved it, man. I loved it. I honestly, I'm gonna rank the movies here, in order from favorite to least favorite, and there's 6 movies. But I have to say, man, I definitely enjoyed every single one. So let's go. So I'm gonna start at number 6, which is my and this don't matter because I love all these movies, but technically, right, this is my least favorite, and that is going to be the 5th film in the series, which is called Lone Wolf and Cub: Baby Carts in the Land of Demons. And spoiler alert, because I'm going to talk about these movies. I'll be quick about it, but so this one is my least favorite, but it's my least favorite for a certain reason, right? Like, I think this one is actually, it's really good. I know that I've looked at other people's like rankings and how other people feel about these movies. I think this one is probably the most creatively done movie in the whole series. So this one is dope. This one, basically, Ogami is the main character, and in this movie, the 5th one, Lone Wolf and Cub: Baby Cart in the Land of Demons, he takes this assassination job at the beginning of the movie, but basically he has to fight and kill 5 other. He basically has to fight and kill these swordsmen, and every time he kills one of them, the more details of his assassination assignment are revealed to him after he fights and kills them. Right. So yeah, that part of it is really dope and creative. And just like, I'm a fan of, I kind of want to talk about, we'll get into it later, but I'm a fan of revisionist history, right? Like, I like when people go back and they show things because cinema glorifies like the samurai era so much in this code that they live by, but when you watch these Lone Wolf and Cub movies, you really see how ridiculous some of this stuff is, and like how violent they are, like how willing they are to not only take a life but also just kind of throw away their own and just die. You know what I mean?
Also, in these movies, and you've watched a lot of them lately, they typically position the actual samurai who are under retainer as villains.
Yeah. You know,
like almost always.
Yeah, so it's interesting. But so that's kind of the story in this one, and then the fights are always amazing in these movies. The fights are super good. But I do think that this movie does something in the end that bothers me, and that's honestly like the whole reason why it's not one of my favorites. Basically, so what happens is he gets this job, and his job, it's his assassination job is to, so there's a samurai lord, right? He basically has a mistress, and he had a child by his mistress, and it's a girl, but he's pretending that it's a boy, so she can take over as the lord, right? And he has his own son that he had with his original wife in prison. You know what I mean? Because he's like trying to act like that's not his family. Now, the assignment that Ogami gets is to basically assassinate. So the Lord wrote a letter, and it's like a secret letter, right? And there's a priest that has it. His assignment is to kill the priest, get this letter. You know what I'm saying? And they want the letter to make it to the shogun, so they know all the crap that's been going on with this family. And his other assignment is to kill the mistress and the child, right? Shit. So, long story short, he so in this movie, he basically, so when he goes to kill the priest says something to him that really is like what, because Ogami is like, he's this cold-hearted assassin, right? But he also, you know, he does have like feelings, right? And you see that through his character. But this guy says, meet your parent, kill your parent. What happened?
Yo, did you see this post by Megaran?
No. Time out.
Hold on. Had a blast out in Tampa. Thank you all for coming. I'm about to finish this half of a Publix Cuban sub and call it a night, which by itself is not funny, but look at the fucking sandwich, bro. Look at this shit. It's like it's a big thick ass piece of
bread
and like a little
piece of meat.
That's the weakest sandwich I ever seen, bro.
You're so
Ram, bro. What happened with this sandwich? Please tell us. Please text Noveliss and tell us what the fuck happened with this sandwich.
Gypped. That's hilarious.
Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so he meets this so he goes to assassinate the priest, and he hesitates for a minute because this priest is like super well respected, and you know what I'm saying, he doesn't feel right about killing him. You're so dumb. And he basically just tells him, like, meet your parent, kill your parent. You meet Buddha, kill Buddha. And he basically is like, if you want to come.
Sorry, I gotta stop reading the comments, bro. My
You're
bad.
so dumb.
Go ahead.
And Ogami like hesitates to kill him, and the dude gets away. So that kind of, him saying that to him, basically like, it basically gets him ready to understand, like, if I'm gonna be an assassin, I can't have feelings, and I just got to do my assignment, and that's it. And I can't look at a target more than anything other than a target. Basically, at the end of the movie, he does his assignment. He kills the wife and the child, and it was like, I just thought it was a bit much because he cuts their heads off, and you see their heads roll, and then they put their heads on this thing, and I was just like,
hey, I'm a brutal assassin.
Right. So, like, you know, it was good, but like I said, the ending just wasn't for me, so whatever. All right, so coming at number 5, I got this is the third movie in the series, and that is Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart to Hades. Shout out to Josh, man. Josh, this is his favorite one. And again, like, I really love this one, but this is the one where I kind of found my threshold with like at these exploitation movies. So this one is dope, man. Like, again, like, amazing action, amazing fight scenes and stuff. This one is this one is funny because like the baby cart is like, this is where the baby cart just becomes like unstoppable. Like, you know what I'm saying? The baby cart is it's got guns in it now.
I was about to say, like, I feel like one of the movies that had like a Gatling gun.
Oh no, that's
something.
in like 3 of the movies.
Dog, because I remember I've only seen one of these movies, and I don't think the one that I saw had a gun on it. But I'll be seeing like memes of like the baby cart with like fucking straps on it.
So like, this is the one where like the baby cart just becomes like the best character.
It's like a tank.
Pretty much. Dog, it's literally a tank. Like, it's insane. So, but this one again has a dope story, man. Like, and the action is always incredible in all these. That don't even matter. But this is the one where like Ogami, he fights this like huge army at the end, and then the baby cart just got straps in it, and he just like fights this whole army by itself. Right. But the thing with this movie again, like, so this movie is dope because like, I think when you're watching these movies, you're kind of like wondering if Ogami's like, is he just like straight up evil, or is he got some type of good in him? And this is the one movie where it's actually part of the plot where they are like, yeah, he's got some honor, and he's actually he actually is like a good person. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is like, there's this woman who is about to be like sold to this brothel, and like she doesn't want to go, and the dude that was selling her to the brothel, he tries to rape her, and she bites his tongue off, and he dies. So then they were gonna like torture her for killing that guy, and then Ogami basically is like, I'll get tortured in her place, so you don't do it to her. And they like torture him and all this stuff, and then So he goes out of his way to like save people like this sometimes, and then again, like I said, action is amazing, but this movie's got two like really drawn out rape scenes that I just don't like, and that's the reason why this one isn't one of my favorites, because of that. But the movie is dope. The action's fire. There's a scene that definitely inspired Ninja Scroll, like no doubt. At the beginning of this,
scene?
The bamboo forest scene.
Okay.
Straw hats on, super fire at the beginning of the movie.
Did they do like the sideways run?
No, but I love that.
So dope.
They didn't do that, but just the look, right? Like like Daigoro, the little boy, he's taking a poop, and these ninjas are trying to kill them, and Ogami kills them and cuts down the bamboo tree. This is really dope. So coming in at number 4, from what I've seen, this is like the consensus favorite one. Is the second one, Baby Card at the River Styx. I talked about this one.
Yep.
I think this
might be the one that I saw.
Yeah. So this is the most popular one. I got it at number 4 because when it comes, like, I love all these movies, right? Especially my top 4. And when it comes down to that, the thing that separates them is just going to be like either the story or like the quality of like the fight scenes, right? So I think this is the most fun movie. This is definitely the most fun. It's the most action. He's like being hunted in this movie by a bunch of assassins. Like there's just all women's assassins that are hunting them down. Yeah. And then he's got like the Masters of Death, and those are the guys. I told you they look real dope. They got like the giant straw hats and like the baskets on their heads, and one man uses like the Wolverine claws, and like their weapons are really dope. So this is the funnest one. Dog, they're walking, there's a scene, and they get attacked by the female assassins, and she's throwing like turnips and vegetables at them, but they're like daggers, and they're like sticking to the cart.
I definitely remember this one.
Yeah, Daigoro gets a couple bodies in this one. There's this part where he puts the button and the swords come out the side, and it just cuts this dude's ankles off. Hilarious. But yeah, this one's dope. Like I said, it's the funnest one for sure. He cuts this dude's neck at the end, and this dude's like giving a monologue while blood is spraying from his neck about how good the cut was when he killed him. But like I said, this is the funnest one, and I see why it's people's favorite. Coming in at number 3, I got the last one, Lone Wolf and Cub, White Heaven and Hell. I got the last one here in the number 3 spot. Bruh, there is a scene at the end of this movie. It's the final battle in the snow, in the mountains, and it's like, bruh, ninjas on skis. The baby cart is a sled.
Dog.
They're sledding after each other on skis. It's like a giant. It's just like a giant G.I. Joe battle or something. Like it's the craziest action scene I've ever seen in my life. That scene is literally why I have this one so high. And also, this is the most ridiculous one. Like this is where they just go full like anime, and there's like now they got like supernatural element, and there's goats and all this crazy stuff going on. This is the most. I mean, they're all ridiculous, but White Heaven and Hell is the most ridiculous. But I actually love it, and like I said, that scene at the end, bro, in the snow is like one of the best action things I've ever seen in my life. And I actually looked up a lot because I was like, this is amazing. Like I have to know how they did this. So it took them like 3 months to shoot that scene.
Really?
And it's real. Like it's cold. You know what I'm saying? Bro, they said Daigoro, the little boy who plays Daigoro, got so cold that he quit. And he refused to shoot any more of the movie because my man's was too cold. Hilarious. Coming at number 2, I got the first one, Sword of Vengeance. I mean, I love this movie. I think the first one is perfect, man, because it does. It's almost like 2 movies in one, because I told you like a lot of the movies are like just kind of like misadventures type of side quest type of things, you know what I'm saying? And this movie starts the story and then it also like continues it. So it's like a origin film, but you know how when you watch an origin movie they like end right where the character like gets sweet or something, and then you got to wait till the next movie comes out to see them as the character you wanted to see them in the first movie. Like this movie like does both things, so it's like you get the beginning and you get to see him and Daigoro on their adventure getting started. And the fight scene at the end of this one is so good, man. Like the camera work is amazing. And then this one also has my favorite scene out of all the movies, the fight on the waterfall at the beginning. So that's my second favorite one. And then my favorite Lone Wolf and Cub movie is the fourth one, Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart in Peril. Man, this one is the best one to me. This is my opinion, but this is my favorite one. I think it has the best sword work out of all the movies.
Okay.
I think it has the best sword work. This is where I told you he's like, bro, Tomosabu Wakayama is like an athlete. Like he's in this movie like jumping around, flipping around a little bit. And I told you last week, like, it's very clearly him. You know what I'm saying? The action scenes are amazing. Like this is the one with the topless female assassin who fights with her boobs out to distract people. I think this is the best one, man. Like this one has the best fight scenes to me. The story is dope. And then like most of all, like about this one, I told you the other ones do feel like little side movies and stuff. Like this one is really the only one that directly continues like the story from Sword of Vengeance, the first one.
Right, that's what I was gonna ask. Like it feels like these movies are all kind of like they're like episodic. They don't really call on each other.
Yeah, for sure. And this one, like this one, it really like feels like it's almost a direct sequel to the first one, because like he finally like has an encounter with Retsuro, and you start finding out why he got set up the way he did, and you know, because the whole point of these movies is that he was the Shogun executioner. Like, so you know, when he had to execute somebody, that's like the highest role you can get is like the Shogun executioner. When and he was the Shogun executioner, and you find out, and what happens is he ends up getting set up, and the Shogunate is sent to kill him, and he doesn't know why, and they kill his wife, and so he takes his son, and we live on the demon way in hell. That's what he always says. And but you never knew why that happened. This is the movie where you find out why it happened. You find out like how he became the Shogun executioner. You find out why he got set up. You find out where the people are that set him up. You find out why they're trying to kill him still now. You know what I'm saying? So you just find out a lot more about the whole thing. So that's my favorite one. Then that's how I rank those movies. If you have not seen Lone Wolf and Cub, man, you guys got to go watch it. And also, I really love the last one. That was my number 3, White Heaven and Hell, because it ends in a way that makes you want to go read the manga. You know what I'm saying? So that's my next journey, is to read the manga so I can kind of get the rest of the bits of this. So shout out to Lone Wolf and Cub. Shout out to Josh, man. He's kind of the reason I decided to watch all these movies, and they are amazing. Boom. All right, man, let's go. We got another about you, about me, about us thing. This time, we're talking about anime.
Yes.
What you got?
I need you to filibuster, my bad.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, man, Lone Wolf and Cub. I am definitely going to read the manga. The manga's a lot. It's the books are really huge, I guess. That's what Josh is telling me. But you know, I'm not intimidated at all, because you're talking to somebody who read Vagabond and Berserk in like 1 year. So
facts.
It's not gonna scare me away.
All
right, man, let's go. What do you got? I'll send this like I've been doing the other ones. I'll post this template in the Discord at some time today, so when the episode comes out tomorrow, you guys can share yours.
Yep.
Boom shakalaka.
There we go. Shit. Let me fine, whatever. Sorry. Okay, so what do we got here? Favorite anime of all time. Easy peasy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Easy work.
And we've only talked about this every single episode for the past like 3 years. So yeah, Samurai
At some
Champloo.
point it gets brought up.
Yeah, all the time. All right, best story. What did I do here? Yes. Cowboy Bebop, bro.
Hey.
Cowboy Bebop.
So
I chose this because again, I mean, Noveliss and I have been talking about this over the past couple of months, where we are. I wouldn't say that we've outgrown shonen, but I think I got to this point, admittedly, before he did, but it was just kind of like, hey man, it'll always have a special place in my heart, these shows, but like, it doesn't appeal to me the same way that it used to. And like having a story about it, a grown up,
kind of grown, kind of.
Yeah, bro. Like, man, Spike had a life, man. Like he had a whole life behind him that he was running away from. Yeah. And like it was just a much more mature approach, and I liked it even when I was younger. Like just going back to watch it now, it just gives it like it's even better. So, best story, Cowboy Bebop. Best art style, man. I don't think I cheated, but I did something different that I 100% stand by. Not for this one, but for another one coming up. So I almost did the same thing for this, but I ended up just choosing one. I'm gonna go with a movie here. I'm gonna go with Your Name.
Oh wow,
Makoto Shinkai.
Amazing.
I mean, just look at the fucking poster.
Makoto Shinkai's animation is.
It's my favorite, man. Overall, he's my favorite. And just in terms of like the beautiful way that he animates the worlds. You
saw Suzume?
I did see Suzume.
I need to see it. Don't tell me anything about it.
I'll just tell you that it was amazing. It was amazing. I think Your Name is my favorite Makoto Shinkai joint, but this one is my second favorite. It's good.
Okay.
Got a little bit of action. I mean, this is
I'm just kidding.
A little bit, right? It's not like, I would say it's a similar amount of action as like
Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, for like Princess Mononoke, for this type of show, like Miyazaki, Shinkai, they're not like action joints at all. They're like Disney movies, sort of, right? They're feelsy kind of stuff.
The crazy thing is when they do action, it's good.
It's dope. Yeah, there's a couple of scenes in here that are pretty dope. And I didn't really only saw one trailer, but like it has like a different plot than I thought, and it's good. You'll like it. I think a modern version of Princess Mononoke feels like an apt comparison. It's not really the same, but there's something to that.
Check it out.
But yeah, his animation, he's just amazing. Great. Makoto Shinkai. Your Name. Check it out if you haven't watched it. Best soundtrack, easy peasy.
Hey,
Samurai,
we're back.
Champloo, Nujabes,
Man, so good.
Fat John, 5Ds. Yeah. Chuchi, he and I follow each other on Instagram.
That's
on Twitter. He doesn't speak any English, so all of his tweets are in Japanese. But I like every single one of them. Like, hey man, I don't know what you're talking about, but I fuck with it because he made my. It's not my favorite. It's like, it's hard to say, man. It's one of my favorite beats on all of Samurai Champloo. It'll take me too long to find it, but I'll bring it up one day. It was made not by Nujabes, not by Fat John, but by Sushi, as I think how you pronounce his name.
Okay.
It's really dope.
Boom.
Best characters. This one was tough for me, man. Because there's a lot. Like one of the things about shonen that I do like is
they offer you a bunch of characters, man. There's
and
a
the
character.
Ones,
there's someone for everybody.
For sure.
That's true.
And the good ones do an excellent job of like, that's one of the appeals of shonen is like you fall in love with all the characters.
There's different bunch of different characters, different ages, men, women, creatures,
different like and again, like I just talked myself off the shonen clip, but now like the thing that I do love about shonen is like how there are different characters and like according to how the world is set up and like the rules of the world, each character's relationship with those rules like
is different
and like this person is this type of person and this person's got like this skill and I like that a lot. And low key, bro, like secretly the show Naruto is easy. Naruto does it probably better than anyone, but that was too easy. The show that I think does it maybe second best is a little bit surprising, bro. Koroku no Basket.
Hey,
because
that's a good one.
They do this, but from the lens of like basketball, right? So you got Koroku, whose main skill is he'd be dropping dimes because of his like lack of presence. You got Taiga, who's just like crazy athlete. His backstory is that nigga went to America and played in LA with some niggas and then came back and was like, "Hey, bro, I'm cold now." That's literally his backstory. Is he went to LA and fucking hooped against some niggas in South Central.
He plays black
and came back and was the best player in Japan like immediately. You got Kisei, whose his thing is that he can mimic anything that he sees. You got Ayunome, who's like street ball crazy. Can't nobody check him. I forget. I think this is Shinto. I can't remember his last name, but he's just a blood. This is the guy who kind of broke my suspension of disbelief. Took it a little bit too far. Where this nigga literally never ever misses.
Never ever missed a shot. In his
like
life.
never, and he's shooting
Half court.
No, he's shooting 94 footers off the catch. Like they were throwing him 94 foot like alley oop 3-pointers, and he was making them bitches all day. I'm like, all right,
Here's the inbound.
right? Like, so this nigga's the greatest player ever. Like,
pretty much.
You can't like.
Not even pretty much.
He's the best basketball player of all time. Period.
Yeah.
Like full stop. Better than Michael Jordan. Better than Steph Curry. Like better than everybody. If what you're saying is true and he can do that on command, he's the best player ever. So like, I wish they could have done something a little bit different with his character because everybody else is. Then you got I can't pronounce his last name, Murabashiara, who's just like defensive specialist, like grabs every rebound, blocks every shot. You got the point guard,
those guys.
right? Yeah, you need him. You got the Akashi, the point guard, who just be crossing people over. That nigga be making. He like, oh my god, the way that they did the crossover,
the way that they presented is
so good, bro. He just be saying kneel before me, and he'll cross him over, and the niggas will fall down and get their ankles broke, and they just fall to their knees, bro. It's so good, dog. I love it. So yeah, just the way that they did the world and the characters and they built all of that was just super, super dope. So shout out to Kuroku no Basket. All right, man. Here's the controversial one right here, bro.
Oh boy,
best combat / fight scenes. So I thought about it.
I know what your answers are gonna be.
I think I'm gonna take it a step further than what you think, though. So
Okay.
here's what I'm gonna do. It kind of doesn't matter what the fuck's going on. What keeps coming in and out
I
here?
have no idea.
What's the Oh, that's you, buddy. Come here, Cloud. Come on. Go to your spot. You just woke up. Sorry. Here, go to the couch. Get to your spot, bud. Bro, what's happening? So it kind of doesn't matter like what the anime is because they're not the people who make the call. It's the studio. It's the studio who makes the call. It's whoever animated that episode that makes the call. Is it Bones? Is it like Trigger? Is it Gainax? Right? Like that's who makes the call. Then I almost was gonna pick Studio Trigger. I was gonna pick Bones because they're who is coming super hard right now. But then I did some more research and I'm like, bro, it kind of don't even matter who the studio is because the studios they like recycle talent. Mm-hmm. There's one guy who keeps going from studio to studio to studio. And he's the guy who I think is responsible. Yutaka Nakamura. So I'm gonna play this video, and there's 2 fight scenes that's gonna pop up that I guarantee will win you over.
Animated?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's look at this real quick.
Super interesting.
Keep it quilted means you keep it the best. 3 layers of plush comfort you can see and feel.
Okay, whatever.
Toilet paper
Right.
ad. Wow.
That's him.
Big time My Hero Academia animator.
So this is I'm not sure I don't actually recognize that, but that's pretty fucking cool. I don't recognize that one either.
Yo, what is that?
I don't know. Is that Wolf Rain?
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh, Blood Blockade Battlefront.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an amazing scene from that. I actually watched that anime years ago.
Yep.
That's a black character too. His name's Zap.
That's fire. Got this cat from this is Mob Psycho.
Oh yeah, Mob Psycho 100. Yep. Amazing animation as well.
Yep.
Wow, his highlight reel is impressive.
It's crazy, dog. And this is like we just getting warmed up here, bro. Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Scar, that's my guy, bro.
Yeah, good.
Hit him with the rock bottom off the motorcycle.
Oh yeah, this is some impressive work.
But Pete, there's something coming here. There's a couple things coming. Oh, it's so good, man.
Oh, the train fight from
Yep.
Cowboy Bebop. So I know the movie. So I know this was Bones.
Yep.
So you're right. They do probably just keep hiring this guy out, different studios.
Yep. There's another one though. Let's keep it moving. This is from One Punch Man, which was crazy.
Dude, man, this guy's amazing.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? Just now from seeing this style, I bet I know 2 fights that are coming up that are amazingly animated.
They didn't even show one of them. The overhaul fight he did.
That was the one I was gonna say. I can
Yeah.
tell that that's his work.
That's not even on here, but he definitely did do that one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's one that's more personal that you'll see in a second.
That's Soul Eater, man.
This is
He did this Sword of the Stranger one too.
Yes, sir.
And this is Bones too, bro. So that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, this guy is GOAT.
He's the GOAT, bro. Like it's gonna be fire, and he's the guy. Like he's the guy that's the best one. Whoops.
That's amazing.
I think I fucked up the screen here. Give me a second.
No.
Up. Move your seat. What is it? Move your feet, lose your seat. All right, so moving on. Best atmosphere setting. This one was tricky, but I found a nice little loophole to stay within the hero
loopholes for all the answers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this one is not like that one though. Just to stay within the hero brand. Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Love Night City,
man.
love Cyberpunk, love everything about it.
And let's not forget, this anime rescued this game.
Saved the entire. It rescued the company, bro. It rescued CD Projekt Red, bro. Like they were about to poop themselves because of how messed up the release of Cyberpunk was. Saved everything.
Agreed.
Great anime. Everyone likes except for you.
Oh boy.
Bleach.
Ah.
Never could get into it. And I was the perfect age to be like a Bleach guy, but
So this is so weird to me because I am the same way, and Bleach is seems like it would be right up my alley, right? Swords. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think I don't know if I liked Ichigo enough.
Ichigo was a nothing character. He's just like he got zero personality. His personality is he's like, hey, kind of spicy, fiery redhead, kind of. Whatever, bro. Like,
I think that was kind of similar for me.
And he wasn't charming at all. Like, I don't like Luffy, but at least Luffy is like kind of funny or whatever. Like, he's got a little Goku charm to him. Naruto as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ichigo got none of that, bro. Like, he's just whatever. Not a big fan. I didn't love the art style either. Like, I thought that their uniforms were kind of boring.
Yeah, same.
Sort of whatever. Everyone hates except for you. I had a little trouble with this one because I feel like I don't.
You don't like something that hates.
Especially for something as broad as anime. Like it's just you could do whatever, and there's always somebody who's gonna like it.
There's always a group of people that hate stuff and like stuff.
So for this one, I went with Dragon Ball GT.
That's actually a fantastic answer.
Hey man, I didn't hate GT, bro. Like I don't know that it's
GT's better than Super.
I don't know that Dragon Ball Super is better than GT, bro. Like I think both of them are slightly disappointing, but like I kind of like Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah,
I kind of like some of the ideas.
Some cool stuff came from
turning
GT,
Goku back into a kid. I don't hate that idea. Like it's all right.
Yeah, some good things came from GT. I agree.
Baby Vegeta and that was a little bit weird, but like. I think the original premise was that it was a virus that the truffles or whatever, the people who the Saiyans conquered, like sent to get revenge on the Saiyans, like long-term storytelling payoff. Like I didn't hate it, bro. Like I think that the Dragon Ball Super got bailed out by some of the best parts of the Universal Tournament, which were pretty cool.
Yeah, the Trunks arc was fire too.
Trunks arc was dope
Goku
too, but
Black stuff.
The rest of it was just the
weak.
movie.
I thought it was weak.
Yeah, like it was just the movies made into a like couple episodes, and then even the whole Universe of Power or whatever was the Tournament of Power.
I actually did not. I was not loving that like how a lot of other people. I was watching it and I was into it, but there's some people that were saying like this is some of the best, and I was like, bro, no. I liked
the Ultra Instinct part. Yeah, that was it. The rest of it was my favorite. Kind of disappointing.
And I liked the Android 17 glow up.
Yeah, for sure. Underrated, overlooked. Hey man, Fire Force. Bro. I hated on Fire Force because I didn't like. Look at this.
Oh yeah, we had their first. I was wrong about you segment about Fire Force.
Look at this nigga's
He's talking about
bro.
his shark teeth.
I was like, bro, I don't know.
Yo,
I don't
somebody
know about
please find that episode and clip that. That was hilarious. That's one of the funniest moments in SwordCast history.
I don't know about this nigga, though. What is that?
But then he has a reason why he's got an awkward smile.
Yeah,
man.
he's sort of he's got like it's kind of hard to explain, but
Fire Force got some amazing animation.
It does, man. Yeah, and the fight scenes are dope.
Fire.
Right. Hey, see what you did there? It's good. I don't like their outfits. Like the firefighter outfits are kind of silly.
That's what always throws me off. Like, God, do they really gotta be just wearing straight up fireman outfits?
And they actually don't usually fight in these.
I know, but still.
But for sure. But I watched it. I was like, hey, bro, it's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of like it. I actually haven't finished it. I'm gonna go back and finish it here pretty soon. Overrated. This is not gonna be a surprise for me. So here, I put Black Clover.
Interesting.
But it could be anything, kind of, right? Like any anime that hasn't earned its way into like immortality. And I would say, even though I don't like it, I would say One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball, like all of these shows that have like earned their way into like legendary status. And I'm critical of some of those too, but like any other shonen anime that like hasn't reached that yet, but is following the formula like a little bit too tough.
Too close, yeah.
I don't know if it's for me. You know what I mean? Like there's some exceptions. Like I've really enjoyed most of My Hero. Demon Slayer has been good. We'll see, but like just until someone does something a little bit unique with the formula, it's gonna be tough for me. So
understandable.
Anime you can watch 100 times. This will be easy. Hey, this show looks familiar. Samurai Champloo.
Let's go. Did you have that on this list yet?
Yeah, maybe a couple times. So yeah,
the GOAT.
Yep. Best Day Cure.
I think that was supposed to say like bad day cure.
Yeah, no, I understood. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna go with Food Wars.
So interestingly enough, I thought this was gonna be your best fights. I thought you were gonna go Food Wars. There.
I considered it. I did consider it, but I think that answer is a little bit more comprehensive because it really doesn't really depend on the anime. Any anime can have a crazy fight scene depending on who animates it. You know. Favorite character. This one is gonna be a boring answer, but hey, man.
Hey, Spiky.
Spike Spiegel. We talked about him a lot.
Oh man.
Least liked character. Zero surprise here. Monkey D. Luffy. I don't see the appeal. It's not for me. Moving on. He's just worse Goku. He's just dumber Goku. He's all of the worst parts of Goku and Naruto put together.
Yep.
Except like worse.
Got stretchy arms.
Not for me. I'm sorry. I know it's a lot of One Piece lovers here. Respect, but he's not for me. Biggest letdown, man. We just talked about this, bro. Yasuke.
Oh, that's such a good answer,
this
man.
Shit was so weak, bro. This shit was weak as fuck.
Man, we had such high hopes for this too, man.
And honestly,
somebody should redo it.
Please do. And I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't mean to tear down a black man chasing after his bag, but I'll be forthright with you. When I learned that I think LaShawn Thomas was the person who did it, I kind of internally I was kind of like, ooh, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, because the two things that I've seen from him before were kind of trash, bro. Like I appreciated Cannon Busters, but like it wasn't that good.
Right.
You know, I think so. When I learned that he was in charge, I kind of was like, ooh,
this might not be what we think it's going to be.
But I didn't say nothing at the time. I kind of let it play out. But like, it immediately started doing the LaShawn Thomas thing, and started doing the robots in feudal Japan for
literally no reason at all.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was rough. That was rough.
All right, favorite ending.
Hey, look at that. That's a great pick, man.
Here we go again.
Oh my gosh.
How about that? Samurai Champloo again. That's crazy how it keeps popping up.
That's insane.
We talked about this before on the pod. I just thought the way it ended was just perfect, bro.
It was.
Like it's a
there's
perfect
like,
send off.
I agree. There's people who are like, oh, they need a season 2. No, man.
If they had a season 2,
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Love it, but
the
like,
way this show ended was perfect.
it's good. We don't need one. This was perfectly fine, bro.
Loved it.
Holds a special place. Dr. Stone.
Hey, I thought this was gonna be Samurai Champloo again.
I mean, it could have been. Samurai Champloo could have been a lot of these.
No, for sure. It's a couple of shows that could have been on mine like 20 times.
Dr. Stone, bro. Like, Dr. Stone was one of the, when I was first entering the doldrums of like, man, am I, like, I was nervous. I was like, bro, have I grown out of anime?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't like
I
this
remember
shit
when
as
you
much
first
anymore.
started watching this.
And this show, Dr. Stone, Kuroko no Basket, and Food Wars, which is why I love all three of these shows, kind of rescued me from maybe falling out of love with anime, because they were shows that were certainly shonen, but they did it in a way that was just refreshing enough for me to get my shonen battery recharged. And I was able to enjoy My Hero. I was able to enjoy Demon Slayer, right? I don't think I would have been able to enjoy those without these shows kind of recharging that battery for me a little bit. So shout out to Dr. Stone and Senku for being a fucking crazy madman. All right. Saddest, most depressing. I mean, this is obvious as well. We just talked about it. Same answer, same grade.
Did you see that meme I posted?
Yeah,
it was like running away from your first view of Grave of Firefly.
Yeah.
Oh man,
wasted potential. I wonder if this is gonna be controversial or not, because I don't know if we're gonna get a season 2, which is why I think this. Bro, God of High. What the fuck happened to God of High School?
Oh, that's a good pick. You know, there's some people that like didn't like this, and I was always like, for what it was awesome. I loved it.
It got a little wonky in the end when they started. The power system kind of took a jump, and I was like, "Wait, what the? Where
wait
did
a
that come
minute. He's their gods."
Yeah, wait, is this fucking Dragon Ball Z? All of a sudden, I thought we were just doing some hands, kind of. But I mean, I liked it enough
in the title
to keep it moving.
It's called God of High School
for sure. So,
and there was also like a guy, and they were saying he was a jiu-jitsu fighter, but he was doing capoeira. That was weird.
Yeah, that was crazy. So yeah,
but I think this is like an umbrella martial arts term for maybe for Japanese people.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
No, but
yeah.
I think just I think that's just their term for like Brazilian martial arts.
Jiu-jitsu is not even Brazilian. Like,
well,
I know
Brazilian jiu-jitsu,
but like, you know how I feel about that. Like, I get it. It went to Brazil and like they did something to it, but let's stop taking credit away from the people who made this shit. It's Japanese,
right?
I get it though, understood. But yeah, that's stupid. But this show is I love the first like 4 or 5 episodes were incredible, and it just kind of disappeared. Don't know what happened.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Just went away, so I'm not sure what's going on with it.
That was a good. You got some good answers, man.
Yeah. Favorite ongoing series. It could have been a couple different answers here, but I went with Attack on Titan.
Hey.
I know it's a popular show, whatever, but it's good. It's good.
It's okay.
What do you want me to do?
It's okay to like. It's all right, man. It's not your fault. Other people
right
like the stuff you like.
It's good. Like
I can't. Oh my gosh, I can't stay. I'm in like a lot of anime groups and stuff on stupid social media that I hate. And I don't understand why I'm still on it.
Yep.
But I always see people say like, somebody please recommend me some non-popular. You know what I'm saying? Typical.
Whatever.
I'm
man.
like, man.
If you don't appreciate the stuff that's popular, like you're gonna be in trouble when you get to the weird shit. Like you gotta build up a tolerance first.
I want to watch something not everyone else is watching.
Why?
Okay.
That doesn't make. There's not a competition to see who's a better watcher of anime shows, man. That doesn't exist.
I will say, because I know you were on the bandwagon until season 3, I think, when they started doing too much like political people stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna finish it one day. I mean, I know it's good.
They righted the ship.
Yeah, I know it's good. Jay and Ash watch it all the time. That's their favorite show. So
it's good. It's good. I love this. It's my favorite answer of this. Favorite retro old school, bro. I fell back in love, man.
Let's go, Gundam Wing.
That shit is so cold, dog.
Do you remember that scene in like the first couple episodes where he just like straight up tells that girl he's gonna like kill her?
Yes, bro. Hiro Yui is fucking insane, bro.
Jerk.
Like he wants to kill her, and then she like falls in love with him afterwards for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she got toxic ass relationships. Then he falls out of a building.
Yep.
Out of a and Duo Maxwell was like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga, bro? Like,
it's a really dope show, man.
He's insane. So I'm rewatching it for the first time in like, I don't know, 15 years maybe.
Gundam Wing is excellent.
It's dope, man. I love the intro, dog.
Intro's fire.
So good, man. It just reminds me of like going to Northland Mall in Detroit, and you remember when they had that Suncoast that was in there, and getting the fucking tape, bro. Like, 90s anime, love it.
Like Sam Goody, Suncoast. Suncoast is where we used to get all the Dragon Balls.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Yep.
Okay, I'll get to it someday. This will make you happy. I'll watch it someday.
Hey!
Too many people that I respect tell me that this is good.
The Church of Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's gonna be. I have to be in the mood for it because it is pretty formulaic. But the quality of the fight scenes are pretty high.
Actually, though, I don't think it is.
It certainly starts off that way.
It definitely starts off that way.
I watched like the first 6 episodes, I think.
It does start off that way. And I would even say that the formulaic thing doesn't die down until like this new season that's about to come out because, you know, I'm like caught up on this manga. Okay. But I don't think it's shown in formulaic at all. Okay. I think this show is something different. That's why I like it so much.
Word. Okay. I mean, I keep hearing that from folks, and the fight scenes are crazy, so I'm down with that.
And this is also a show where like the way that the side characters get their time, like I've really not seen that done this way. Like the side characters get mad time, mad shine. Like there's like long periods of time where the Yuta Itadori is like not even in it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So yeah, they do a good job of that.
So notable. I couldn't find I couldn't find a place to put My Hero in. But just know that I fuck with Hot. It gets love, but there wasn't a particular answer that felt like it was the right answer for it. So no shade to My Hero. It's still one of my favorite contemporary animes.
Let's go.
All right, last one. Favorite spinoff. This one was hard. I feel like anime doesn't do a ton of spinoffs, but
yeah, I had to kind of get creative with that one too. So
I found a good one, and I wonder if you did the same thing. But I found a really good one. And if you didn't think of this one, I guarantee you might have to change your answer. Pokemon Origins.
Dog fire. So I actually did think of that.
Okay.
That almost was going to be my answer. That's a great pick.
Yeah. I mean, we love the Pokemon anime, but like this is Red. Like this is the guy
that's the guy from the game.
Right. And this nigga don't fuck around. And
it was a little edgier. Hell, it was fire.
He does in 4 episodes what it took Ash like 20 years to do. Yeah, basically.
It was dope. Really dope take on Pokemon, man. Yeah. I love that.
Shout out to Pokemon Origins. All right, that's my list.
Boom.
All right, what do we got?
All right, let's go. Time for mine. What do we got first there?
Got favorite anime of all time.
Favorite anime of all time? Come on.
Easy peasy.
You guys already know the answer to that one. We talk about this show like, I don't know. Literally, it comes up at some point in every episode. Samurai Champloo. Don't even got to talk about it. Just the GOAT.
Yep.
Best story. Ooh.
Hey.
I went with Berserk, man, from 1997. I mean, I think this is, you know, it's one of my favorite anime of all time. You guys know how I feel about the manga, but I just think when you watch the show and you read the manga to Berserk, like you can very easily see that the whole point of this show was to sell the manga. You know what I mean? And that is exactly what it does, and that is exactly what you want to do after you watch it. So
yes or no, Cecilia or whatever. What's her name?
Casca.
Casca,
girl from yeah.
Yes or no? Is she black?
She is 100% black, bro. Like if you read the manga, like she's like dark and she has a different skin tone than like literally everybody in the story. Like she's definitely black. I almost want to say there's a moment where somebody comments on her, just her like features, and I was gonna take a picture of it and send it to you, but I never did. But yeah, she's black for sure.
Done.
Best art style. Let's go, man. So I picked Akira, man, because you already know how I feel about like that type of animation, like that 80s and 90s, like super well drawn. Like that's just my favorite. That's my favorite style.
And they did that with a movie budget too.
Man, that's my favorite style of animation. Like nothing will ever take that. That's what it is. I love this style of animation. This like Ghost in the Shell, like it's like Spriggan. That's my favorite style, man. Just that like really detailed, like 90s, 80s, like well drawn anime. So it's my favorite. Best soundtrack. Oh, you already know. This is and we're here at number 2. I tried very hard to keep some anime off of here so I could get more variety, but I could not go in any other direction. Shout out to Samurai
I will
Champloo.
say I do feel compelled to remind us that if it wasn't going to be for Samurai Champloo, the Queen Mother Yoko Kanno would have made an appearance.
Hey.
It's almost like she's almost like my answer for the best combat, because like there's a ton of anime that feature her, and you know it when you hear it.
You know it when you hear it.
Yeah,
facts. Best character. So I wanted to get creative with this one. Let's go, man.
Hey.
So I went with Lupin the Third. And you know, like I said, I watched this a little bit of Lupin when I was younger, but now I like love it, and I've been watching it a lot. And I love these characters, man. They're fire. Lupin, of course, like I said before, this is James Bond but a thief. You know what I'm saying? Like really dope. Then you got my favorite Goemon, who is the greatest swordsman ever. And then you got Jigen, who's kind of like this mysterious guy that is Lupin's part of his crew. And then you got Fujiko Mine, the girl, who's like, you know, she's like that fake damsel in distress, but like can really handle herself, super crafty, smart.
I feel like Faye Valentine
100%
based off her,
absolutely,
or inspired at least.
Like Cowboy Bebop in general is 100% inspired, but because Jigen is like Jet too, you know what I'm saying? Like this show is definitely inspired Cowboy Bebop. The music too, like I said, talked about how it's just mad jazz music. So yeah, man, I love Lupin. I love the character, so I went with Lupin third for that. Best combat, I did not get super creative like you did. I just went wanted to get one of my favorites on here, so I just went with Naruto. I mean,
if I had to pick one, this might be my one.
Yeah, I mean, it's Naruto, right? That's one of the main reasons we love it. The fights are amazing. They always have like a bunch of weight behind them too. Just some of the best fights in anime history, and like changed the game with like the fluid combat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wasn't like Dragon Ball, which we love, but some of the Dragon Ball Z stuff where they're just like Naruto was like choreography and like, you know what I'm saying? So that's my pick for best combat fights. What we got next?
Best atmosphere.
Oh, you already know. I couldn't resist. Come on now.
Hey.
Had to go with My Neighbor Totoro. I said before, man, this is the most serene, like comforting anime ever. I love it so much. And
it's the polar opposite of my pick, bro. Fucking horrifying ass Night City cyberpunk crime and
complete opposite.
Right,
but I went with Totoro, man. I just love everything about this movie. Anytime I think about it, I have to like watch it.
Yep.
So I love Totoro. Everyone likes except you. Oh man, I'm not gonna spend time hating on it, but you know, One Piece, you guys know. I'm sorry, I know there's a lot of One Piece fans, but it's just not for me. And you know what? That's okay.
It's fine. No big deal.
All right. And we
everyone hates except
for me. So I wanted to. This was kind of hard for me too, but I went with Inuyasha because I just know a lot of people don't. A lot of people like look back on it and they don't like it.
The only thing I didn't like about Inuyasha is it seemed like that shit was the only. It was the only Adult Swim show for like 10 straight years, 10 bro.
Years. And you would be sleeping, your TV would be loud, and the song would come up. Your
like,
TV,
fuck.
Your TV be loud.
Right, it's 3 o'clock.
And you know what's crazy is that's like a universal memory for everybody our age
bro.
That watched any type of animes.
I will say though, Inuyasha, those ending themes used to slap, bro.
Inuyasha got some of the best music
ever.
And I used to love it, man. I did, and I still like it. It's just a very nostalgic show for me. So Inuyasha for that one. What we got? Underrated, overlooked. Oh man, so there's a ton of shows I wanted to pick for this one, but I ended up going with Record of Lodoss War. Look, in terms of like high fantasy anime,
oh my God,
I think this is the GOAT, kinda.
Man, it's so fire, bro.
It's
I love
fire.
this show.
The music is awesome. The characters are awesome. Like, this is the best anime, from this era to me ever. That really is just like it's like the closest thing you'll ever get to a Lord of the Rings anime.
Sure.
It's like a D&D style, like characters. You know what I'm saying? So, Record of Lodoss War, man.
Guy.
Fire. It's a great show.
He's a very white bread character, but like
he is, but he's not even the best character. Like,
he's not, bro.
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of the cool thing about it is there's
because
a lot of,
he starts off as like super kind of like a chump, not a chump, but he was like, hey, like I'm sort of white bread. I want to be a hero. Blah blah blah. My favorite character is Orson.
Oh man, I love him.
He's like, because he's sort of like it's hard to explain, but it's like, bro, like I've been here.
Yeah, he's the experience.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? The guy who's got all the experience. He's not scared of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. It's really dope, man. It's a good show. And I also love like the characters all have like different relationships with each other too. It's classic, man.
Yep.
What we got next?
Overrated.
Ooh. Oh man, 7 Deadly Sins is trash. That show sucks. I'm sorry, and there's so many people that like love this show, and I've said it before. It's just we've got some weird like relationships to me, and like, oh, I know she looks like a kid, but she's actually like 10 million years. Nah, bro, it's weird.
What's the main character's name again?
Meliodas.
He's like 7. Like,
yeah, but same thing. He's like actually not. He's like a.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever I say, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think
I never liked it.
I think it's weak. I'm not. I think the animation's like
trash.
super mid too.
It's like the first like Netflix anime ever.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, not for me.
Yeah. So 7 Deadly Sins for overrated. Anime you could watch 100 times. Ooh, I had to get another one of my favorites on here, Cowboy Bebop.
Sir.
This is one of those shows that I watch once a year, man. I always watch it from beginning to end every single year. Love it. Cowboy Bebop, one of the GOATs, one of my favorite anime of all time.
Agreed.
What we got next?
Best Day or a Bad Day Cure.
Bad Day Cure. Good vibes. What I pick for this one?
Hey.
Ooh, Dragon Ball Z, man. Classic.
Sure.
I mean, this is, if I'm not feeling well or something, like this is something that I cut on and just watch, and it's you always enjoy it. It's fun. It just reminds me of a time when things were simpler, and I love it. I watch it at night a lot too. This is like my go to bed anime. So shout out to Dragon Ball Z for always being there for
Gundam Wing is my go to bed anime right now.
Favorite character? You guys know the answer to this. Kakashi, man. Not only my favorite anime character of all time, but I think he represents like a character archetype that I'm really into. Like you
definitely have a type, bro.
Yeah, like the middle, like not the super old, not the super young, like the kind of middle aged like teacher that's can still whoop all the students, but still protect the student. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of my like favorite character type.
Steve from fucking Stranger Things. He fits.
He is. It's like he's Kakashi he's the Kakashi of Stranger Things. The team mom. So shout out to those characters, man. Least liked character. Oh boy, don't get me started. Griffith from Berserk.
Least as in like it's a shitty character, or you just hate the character?
I hate him. He's evil. Griffith is the biggest scumbag villain in anime history, manga history. Hate him so much. There's a lot of weirdos. There's like a weirdo fans that are like, Griffin did nothing wrong. You already know there's people like that. But nah, Griffin's let me be clear here. Amazing character.
Sure.
I hate him for what he did in the story.
Like a good wrestling heel.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. But amazing villain, but I hate him for what he did in the story. Right. So he's doing his job, I guess.
Biggest letdown.
Ooh, what I pick for this one? Boruto, man. I think just the way that this show has like, and there's people who are like swearing by it now, like, oh man, time skips coming. I told you before, I think they could have ended this after the Momoshiki fight, because we all, we wanted to see Naruto and Sasuke as adults, and then then they kind of did the thing where they didn't know, like, all right, are we gonna make the show about Boruto, or are we gonna let's nerf Naruto and Sasuke so people care more about Boruto? Like, what are we doing? And then these villains, they just keep pulling these villains out of their cheeks, and I don't know what, like, they're just, these villains are just, they don't even look like they belong in Naruto because they're still doing the whatever. People. This is dumb. I don't like it, and I think it's a big letdown. Favorite ending? Ooh, again. Okay, yes, this anime ends horribly. Berserk 1997, one of the GOATs to me, one of my all-time favorite. I got a Berserk hoodie on right now. But the reason I'm picking this for my favorite ending is because, like I said about the Lone Wolf and Cub, the last movie, the job of this anime was clearly to make you want to read the manga, and that is exactly what this ending does. So I got that as my favorite ending.
Boom.
Holds a special place. Let's go. I'm using this again as another opportunity to get an all-time favorite on here. I went with Yu Yu Hakusho. Just one of my favorite shows of all time. Holds a special place. And that's why I got it on here, man. Just a classic. One of my favorites.
Agreed.
Dark Tournament. Best tournament arc ever. But sad and depressing. So we kind of had this, and we both picked Grave of Fireflies last time. So I kind of wanted to bypass the sad part and go for the depressing part.
I think I know what the answer is, but I have not finished this yet, so like, don't explain anything.
Okay, it might be or it might not be. Let's see.
Okay. No, that's what I thought.
Okay,
That's what I thought.
So I went with Neon Genesis Evangelion. I won't go too far into it because you're not done with it. But one of my favorite shows of all time. But just the depressing part, and just this, like, this anime focuses on people dealing with those feelings, like being depressed, sad, lonely, all those things. So I went with Neon Genesis Evangelion.
This is on my list. After I finish Gundam Wing, I'm gonna finally finish this. I think I watched the first 10 episodes of this, but I never finished it.
It's great. I love that show.
Yeah. I remember in 7th grade, like, people were losing their minds about this shit.
And drawing it all the time.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
yep. I never got around to it, but I'm gonna do it.
I tried to watch it when I was younger. I said that before on here. I tried to watch it when I was younger, but it's just way over my head. I was like, wait a minute, dog. Like, these are robots. Why aren't they fighting like all the time? Like, what's going on?
Yep.
Wasted potential. I went with Dragon Ball Super, man. I think just the whole idea of Dragon Ball coming back, and then it just
so exciting,
weak. So
not that great.
Mid.
Yeah, man. Give Dragon Ball GT another shot. It wasn't all as bad as you thought. I mean, I get why we were a little bit disappointed by it, but based on what we saw with Super, like,
facts. And just seeing Dragon Ball with this type of animation, it just took me a long time to like adjust to it because I didn't like it.
Yeah, me too. Everything feels like shorter.
It does.
It's like a weird thing. Yeah.
Favorite ongoing series? Ooh, you already know, Jujutsu Kaisen. Love it. It's dope. The manga, the anime is fire. I cannot wait till this next season, man. I'm telling you guys, man, this next season of Jujutsu Kaisen is going to have 2 of the greatest anime fights of all time.
Dang, heard it here first. Of
all time. 2
heard it here
in this season. And it depends on how far they get. Could have 3, but where I think they're going to get to before the season ends, I'm guaranteeing this season is going to have 2 of the greatest anime fights of all time.
There you go.
Bang. Favorite retro old school anime? Again, let's go. Ooh. When we're talking about old school anime, my favorite time, the 90s, man. I love all this old stuff, but Ninja Scroll is definitely the top of my list when it comes to that era and thinking about stuff from that period. Shout out to Ninja Scroll, man.
Every time I think of this question, I'm reminded of, it's taking me so long to watch Gundam Wing because I keep falling asleep like 5 minutes into the same episode, and I keep going back and falling asleep at the same spot. Every single time.
I do that every time I try to watch something at night.
Bro, like, I've been on episode, I think episode 15 for like a week. Like, I can't, I'm like having such a hard time.
So I would do that, and there'd be times when and Jay will come in and be like, "You watching this episode again?" I'd be like, I keep falling asleep in the same spot.
Right. Hey, go to your room, actually. Leave me alone. Get out of here.
Oh, man. I'll watch it someday. So I know you picked this for overrated. I picked Black Clover for this only because out of every shonen anime that I haven't seen. This is the one that people keep telling me that I need to watch, and that it's gonna be good, and that is, and I tried to watch it and I hated it at first, but there are so many people that keep telling me I should watch it, so I just picked this. Will I watch it? I don't know. Not if I don't get out of this being jaded to the shonen period. Right. So for favorite spinoff / side story, I try to just basically look at it like basically every Gundam series is a spinoff from the original, pretty much. So I kind of looked at it that way, and I went with. So technically, hold on.
Hey, well, actually,
so that's not completely untrue. There are Gundam Z, I think like Gundam. There's a movie, and then there's Gundam Hathaway that are all like connected. The main storyline, and then every other one is like a side. It's story. Like a branch off. It's like an alternate universe, and then there's like some weird shit where like I think Gundam. What's the one that came out after Gundam Wing?
It's not Iron Blooded Orphans, is it?
No,
that's too late. That's
this was like 2005 or something.
Is it Gundam? It's not Seed, is it?
Gundam Seed? Yeah, okay. I think Gundam Seed. One of those is like 1,000 years into the future of one of the other ones.
It is Gundam Seed.
Gundam Seed. Yeah. So technically this is true. Like it is technically a spinoff.
Yeah. So I went with Mobile Fighter G Gundam's my favorite Gundam show.
Shining Finger.
It's dope. I love it. It's like a martial arts. It is. It's like a martial arts, but with Gundams. Yeah. It's dope. I love it. It's one of my favorite old anime, so I went with that. So that is mine, guys. I'll post this in the Discord for you real quick.
Yeah, these are fun. Keep them coming.
We'll think of a new one to do real quick, man. Let's recap that Final Four for the action movie character tournament. We have the championship upon us.
Yep. So,
and is this what you expected? 2 number 1 seeds in the end.
Yes, but not the one that I thought.
Not the ones that you thought.
Well, I mean, I assumed John Wick was gonna make it all the way through. But yo, man, we gotta give a hand to the Queen Mother, Ellen Ripley, bro. Like I love Ellen Ripley. Like she's one. I was rooting for her. Like tough.
She's a loved.
I guess
SwordCast community.
I kind of thought that maybe because I didn't know how much people were into the Alien franchise.
But I think those movies, bro. Like when you really think about it, like people our age, a little older, a little younger. Mm-hmm. Bro, when we were growing up, like the action movies that were always on the TV was Aliens and Terminator 2, bro. Yeah, literally, facts. It was those 2 movies. Yep. So I think a lot of people really love Ripley, man. Like my brother loves her. Like she's his favorite character. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I was surprised. I thought she might go down to Sarah Connor. I didn't think she was gonna beat James Bond. I love James Bond too, but I did vote for Ellen Ripley. I did that too. One.
She pulled the mech suit out on.
Yeah, right. Bro. She came out. She started. It's like Demon Finn Balor, bro. She's undefeated in the mech suit. She's gonna need it against John Wick though, bro.
She got to come out with the mech suit on.
Yeah.
I love when
she might have to do the shaved head. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like how they
J-I-Y.
John Wick. So yeah, we got John Wick kind of walked away from Beatrix Kiddo in the final.
Shout out to the bride, man.
Yeah, she had a dominating run.
She had a great run, made to the Final Four.
And then Ellen Ripley, man, she took out the old veteran, the old wily vet, James Bond. And she had like the hardest road.
She did, man. Like I was going through the thing. I think she had the hardest road to the championship.
She beat
because she's having like close matches.
Right, too. Like she beat Deckard Shaw. She barely beat Chief Inspector Lee. Yep. She had a beef slapper with Sarah Connor. It wasn't a total blowout with James Bond, but like that one was not quite as much of a blowout as I thought. John Wick has cruised.
He has just walked through this whole tournament.
I think he'll take some damage against
Ripley.
But my prediction is that John Wick
wins the tournament,
which is what we predicted to begin. He inspired the tournament, so I think he's going to walk away with it.
John Wick literally inspired the tournament, so we'll see. But yeah, man, let's go. We got the championship. Mm-hmm. John Wick versus Ellen Ripley. Wow, let's go. And also, man, like we said, we are doing a video game one next.
Yep.
We'll get the regions together. we'll post the regions, and then you guys can let us know if there's anything missing. And shout out to the MVP of this. Really, is the homie.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Joe.
Shout out to Joe, man.
Yeah.
Joe did all the artwork. He did the bracket. He did the artwork with the regions on it. Like, shout out to you, man. We really appreciate you, bro. And thank y'all for listening. We'll catch y'all next week when we crown the champion. Will it be John Wick or will it be Ellen Ripley? Boom.
Nice.